Up next on the Tesla Plaid channel.
Oh, he launched hard! Coming back against the
Welcome back to the Tesla Plaid channel. We're on our way out to Bradenton Motorsports Park. We're going to get there with about 88%, and it's the quarter-mile track that puts some restrictions on us. So I'd like to give you my opinions on tracks and restrictions and all that. I'm going to put it at the end of this video. So after you watch the races, if you're interested in my opinion about rules, regulations, and different tracks, I'm going to give you all that. Otherwise, enjoy these races. We're out at Bradenton Motorsports Park. It's August 21st, 2021. All right, apparently the first couple hours here tonight is roll racing, and I've asked around if there's the same restrictions on the roll racing, and two different guys that work here told me they weren't aware of restrictions. So I'm gonna make a pass or two. One of the guys actually said it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. So let's see what we get. M8 competition. This may be only the second M8 competition I've seen. These Michelin Pilot Sport 4S are not square. He's got a 285 on the back and a 275 on the front, but both on 20-inch rims. Very similar tires to what I've got. Fast car for sure. Be running probably your 11.0 to 11.1. All right, we are roll racing for the first time. We're gonna cross that start line right around 30 miles an hour. And we're not in drag strip mode.
The Tesla, we're going to see what it can do roll racing. The Tesla, we're going to see what it can do roll racing. Even the 9 seconds on the 150 mile an hour.
We want to be going about 35 miles an hour as we cross this start line here. Here we go, 35. Whoa. We actually slipped a little there. Here.
150 mile an hour on the standstill.
Okay, we want to be going about 35 miles an hour as we cross this start line here. Here we go, 35. Whoa. We actually slipped a little there. What do we do here? Wow. That was a BMW M8 competition in the lane next to us. I do believe it's all stock though. I don't think he's tuned, or I don't think he's even got tires on there. Thank you. All right, somewhat surprisingly, we ran only 151.58. I thought we'd be closer to the mid 150s on that pass. Doesn't give a lot of information here. It says we hit, so it says at 60 feet we were doing 45 miles an hour. Actually, I was doing less than the car next to us. I think he left at a higher rate of speed, and I slipped the tires. But by the halfway mark, 660 feet, I was doing 120.2, which is my typical eighth mile an hour, and the BMW was doing just 99.9. So he's doing right around 100. I was doing 120. Had 20 miles an hour on him at that point, and then I had exactly pretty much 30 miles an hour on him at the finish line, as he had 121.5 to my 151.5. That was a fun run. We're gonna do that again.
I figured so.
That was awesome.
That was fun, man.
That was freaking awesome. That thing is crazy fast.
Yeah.
Like, you went 151.
Yeah.
Like, that is
121.
crazy.
121 is
It's not bad.
Still impressive.
Yeah.
Still crazy.
Yeah, that was really impressive.
that was a lot of fun.
That
So we got a
was
Porsche GT3 here. roll race number 2, this Porsche GT3 from the guys at 316 speed.
Back up and again. Tesla Plaid channel hot rod. Got its own YouTube channel here. Its own YouTube channel here on in the right lane and the car racing side of the track. The Tesla's gonna do its best to get.
He's gonna set the pace. Back there. And we're going. Though, you know, when I came out earlier tonight, I didn't even know they were going to be doing this roll race to begin with. I didn't see it on the webpage. It just said drag racing and stuff. Thank you. Even faster than the previous pass. We ran 152.7. The Porsche GT3 ran 120. I wasn't sure if he was tuned or not. I know that that group does a lot of tuning. I've seen their turbo Lambos and other cars, and they're not to be taken lightly. After the Porsche 911 Turbo surprised me out at Orlando a couple nights ago, I'm not taking anybody for granted. Actually waited for him for a couple seconds, and when he caught me, he was going 30 miles an hour faster than I was, so I just about caught him, but he took me by 700ths of a second. Good times. All right, this is our third and what's supposed to be our last run here tonight. Let's see what we got here. He's going to try to do about 40. He sets the pace. All right, let's see what we got here. That's got to be somewhat rough on the brakes. I mean, yeah, the regen eats up a little bit of that kinetic energy, but not nearly enough. All right, those are the first 3 roll races I've ever done. I do believe we won them all. Thank you. So we trapped at 151.97, almost identical to that first time that we ran the Plaid out here, also in Plaid mode, same as we're doing now. Remember, we did not stage up drag strip mode. In my mind, the main benefit of drag strip mode is the launch control and the way it adjusts the suspension and gives you a better launch. Since we're not launching from a dig or, you know, a dead stop, I don't think there's a big benefit to it. In fact, if you look at the 2 quarter-mile passes I made, the one in Plaid mode here, I ran 151.95 on my first ever quarter-mile pass in this car. And then my next quarter-mile pass in this car, full on, flat out, I only ran 149 this past week out at Orlando. And that was with the full battery warm-up, drag strip mode, launch control, the whole deal. It ran the same 9.4 ET. So again, if I was running a drag flat out, I would want drag strip mode and launch control if I could make it work. But for roll racing, I think Plaid mode is just fine. All right, we're lining up with an Acura NSX, one of the newer ones. I haven't raced an NSX in quite some time. Ooh, little squeal out of the tire there. Okay, we are in Plaid mode. No drag strip. We're not going to use launch control. And you know what? I'm going to let this guy have the move. He doesn't know it, but I'm going to let him have it anyway. Beautiful car. Look at that. Look at that. Now this is where I got to be careful here. Now this is where I got to be careful here. Yeah, that should be enough right there. I cut that really close, maybe too close. Beautiful car that NSX is. I love the, looks like it's got a wrap on it. I don't think that's the original paint. I'm certainly no expert on Acuras. Thank you. They're giving out whole slips tonight. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm looking at the slip. I was saying back there that I cut it close, maybe too close. 006 at the finish line. I ran an 11.03 at 120.0, and the Acura ran an 11.5 at 119. Not sure if I've done any double O's before, at least not intentionally necessarily, but wow, 6 thousandths of a second. I thought that car might be a little faster than that. I was kind of hoping he had it tuned or something, but I'm not sure what you can do to those cars. But nice close race. You can't cut it any closer than that. Maybe that's the goal I should set for myself. This Cadillac CTS-V is on Mickey Thompson. Rumor is the car's running low 10s. We'll find out. 315 millimeter Mickey Thompson ET Street SS drag radials. If Darth Vader drove a car, this would be it right here. All right, we're running the Cadillac CTS-V. He's got a number of modifications. I can't list them all, but he believes he's got about 700 horse to the wheel. And that sounds about right based on his mods and his time that he's running. Big Mickey Thompson's on there hooking up. And I'm going to let him have the move because I believe he said traction and launching is sometimes an issue on his car. So, all right, we're going to just watch him. Oh, he launched hard. Look at that, 150 foot. See how close we can make this, not too close. looked like maybe 1/100 of a second. I enjoyed that run. It's not easy cutting it real close. I could tell he had a lot of power, and if they play with me near the finish line and come on with a big surge, they could catch me off guard. Thank you. He ran a 10.4 at 127.99, and the Cadillac ran a 10.9 on that pass. The margin at the finish line was a 0.01. His 60 foot wasn't as good as it usually is. You can usually run a 150 60 foot in that car, so he must have spun a little bit. He ran a 164. So I like those close finishes. Fun race against a powerful car. Nice race, man.
Toying with me. That was actually, I got to figure out what's going on there. That's pretty slow for me, really.
Yeah, your 60 foot was off.
Down.
Did
yeah.
you spin?
No, it came out decent. No, it fell on its face on the 1-2 shift. Like,
okay, because it looked like you launched really hard. You got out on it like
you
right
can see
quick.
it drop. Yep.
But then I was surprised your 60 foot wasn't in the 1.5s.
Yeah, I know. It should. Part of it too is that I put brand new shocks on here as well.
Okay.
So I think they're at the loosest setting. So I'm
Yeah.
going to have to go in and adjust them as
Yeah.
well. Hopefully get a better 60 foot and have a little bit. I mean, but even with that, the mile an hour is down 124. That's pretty low mile an hour.
So your weight transfer was off. You think a little bit on that launch?
I don't think it's just the suspension's planting the tires hard enough.
Yeah.
And there's definitely an issue on the 1-2 shift. These cars are known for it. Most of the time you can just overfill the transmission. That's usually what it is. Transmission sloshes back and it starves it and it falls on its face, which I've done that, but I got to figure something out because it definitely fell on its face on that one.
Yeah.
But it was a fun run regardless.
It sounded good and you launched hard.
Yeah, I mean, I came out. What was the reaction time? Did you get me on the reaction time?
No, I was.
Yeah, you were
see
waiting
the video,
on me.
but I
Yeah.
was waiting on you.
Yeah, you were waiting on me. Oh, that was even bad. 223.
The problem is if I don't wait on the other car and I cut a light,
You're just out
then
so far.
then I'm out, and then sometimes I'll wait up for them, and then they'll pass
They're
me,
pulling.
and then it's all screwed up. So it's always easier for me if they're out, and then I can pace, and then get to where I need to be. So,
that makes sense.
Yeah, but fun run, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, Jarrod.
Good job. Good job.
Right. It is the mighty Dodge Demon. All right, this Dodge Demon is on Mickey Thompson's. He's on 305 millimeter Mickey Thompson ET Street R tires. And you can see those are sticky. All the stuff sticking to those. All right, we got a serious competitor on this one. Okay, we're just in Plaid mode. We didn't warm it up. We're not going to try using launch. And we debated whether or not I should give him the move, but he's capable of running a high 9. And I'm at 73% battery right now, as you can see, 73%. So if I ran flat out, I'd probably run a 9.7. And his Demon is run as fast as 9.7. So
We got Ghost Rider here. Oh, it's a Demon.
here we go. Yeah, he's got power. I gotta take it a little easy. I don't want to. Okay, he's coming on. Here we go. Yeah, he's got power. I gotta take it a little easy. I don't want to. Okay, he's coming on. All right. I pedaled it just a little bit there in the middle, but I was afraid I was going to run too low of a 9 if I stayed in it the whole way. I wanted to see how the cars compared power for power, and I think we got to see that. Even if he had a launch issue, I mean, once he's underway and second and third gear, we got to see the power of that car compared to the power of this car. And I could have pulled away a lot more than what you saw, but that would have got me in trouble with the track. So I had to find the in-between of running just fast enough to beat them, but not so fast that I'm going to get in a lot of trouble out here. So let's see what our ticket says. Thank you. Interesting. Okay. Very interesting. He cut a light, and I took it lazy on the light as planned. So I ran a 9.94 at 140.99, so 141 miles an hour. I wasn't in it the whole way, but enough to stay ahead. He ran a 10.38 at 135. At the finish line, I beat the Demon by a 0.11, about a tenth of a second, about a car length. So his awesome reaction time combined with his mediocre 60-foot, and then my pretty good 60-foot combined with the reaction time, those numbers, both sides of the ticket add up to, 1.8, 1.9. So we were pretty close to each other after 60, 100 feet or so. So were you able to warm up your tires?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought the problem was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, your 60-foot wasn't awesome, but your reaction time was awesome. You had an 03, I don't know if you saw the ticket.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I tried to leave a little behind you, and I did.
Cheated. You ran the 9.4, man. You were supposed to run a 10.0 with me.
9.4? Did you see my, I didn't run no 9.4. I ran a 9.9.
What the hell? Ticket?
Is that the right ticket? I'm car number 32.
Oh, this is the wrong ticket.
Is it 32? Sorry, I'm car number 43 tonight. I'm car number 43.
43?
That's me.
Oh, that's 9.9. Oh, I thought you were at the 9.4. I said, no, man, he ran full blast on me. He wasn't supposed to do that.
No. I pedaled it a little bit at mid-track, but I had to be on it out of the hole and all the way through the 8th mile to keep up with you.
Yeah, I did do it.
And then I pedaled a tiny bit so that I wouldn't be running, mid-9. But, yeah, look at your reaction. You had an 03 to my 0.3. So you got the big jump on me at the light. But that's kind of what I wanted, because I didn't want to get out on you. But your 60-foot wasn't there.
Yeah.
I'm sure you typically 60-foot like 150 and thereabouts,
No,
right?
no, 1.3 and 1.4.
You've done 1.3s?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Look at there. You're looking. Oh, well, no, it's not on there. But
Yeah.
because it's not on there because
Well, sometimes
I did
they'll put it on the
run
board.
threes on the run this Sunday.
Oh, and they don't
Last time
show
I
it.
did the run this
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
And that's when I raced against the guy that looked like Race
Yeah.
X.
But wasn't your 60-foot like a 1.6 or 1.7?
On here, but that's bad for me. Normally,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
normally I'm a 1. Like lately,
Yeah.
with me chilling with the car, I'm in the 1.3 area.
Wow.
My last two runs before the night was
Yeah.
1.3.
Both of my cars, the best 60-foot they've ever had is 1.48.
1.41. 1.4 I could do was doing every day, all day.
Yeah.
I got down to 1.3 now.
Wow. That's an awesome 60-foot.
So I did that's
Yeah.
what I said. If I could do
Yeah.
a 1.3 60-foot.
I've never done better than 1.48 ever. With the weather cooling down, a couple months from now, October, November, you'll have some better runs, and I'll be out here, and we'll do it. Cool.
But yeah.
I appreciate the run, man.
Oh, ain't no problem.
Okay, all right, man. We'll do it again. Thanks again, Thomas.
All right, no problem.
We're just leaving Bradenton. We're at 70% as we came out of the staging lanes. We used less than 20% for all of those runs tonight, including the 3 full flat-out roll races. So we got a lot of runs for our charge. A lot of fun races tonight. I really enjoyed those roll races. I especially enjoy that Demon right at the end. Who says you can't have fun at this quarter-mile track with these restrictions? I was a little surprised that they relaxed the restrictions when they do the roll racing. Nobody touched us, and we had some really close races. That Acura NSX at the finish line by a 00 margin, that was a fun win. Great night of racing, all different kinds, good variety. Just a quick update on the second Plaid with the 19-inch wheels. We've got an appointment currently for next Friday. I'm hoping to move that up to Wednesday or Thursday so we can bring it out to either Showtime or Bradenton. And looking forward to seeing how the 19-inch wheels compare to these 21s. Of course, we'll do some more testing with the Nittos that are on the 20-inch wheels. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on the Tesla Plaid channel. Alright, so the quarter-mile tracks, at least everyone within a 200-mile radius of me in North Tampa, put these NHRA restrictions on that say that if you go 150 miles an hour or more, then you need a parachute. And additionally, if you're running under 9.9 seconds, you need a roll cage. And I respect those safety-related rules. I'd hate to see somebody get a Plaid like this, maybe they've never been down the drag strip before, and wreck horribly and perish because they didn't have what was required, and if those additional safety precautions might have made the difference between them living or dying. Those of you that follow the channel know that I'm not exactly a noob at this. I've been racing since my teens. My last Tesla alone has over 1,000 time slips on it, so I've been doing this for a while, and that's why I take safety so seriously. I wear SFI fire-rated gear from head to toe, and I would recommend that everybody else do the same. As it relates to the tracks, thankfully I've got an 1/8 mile track near me, Showtime drag strip, as well as they're building one, a place called Leadfoot City in Brooksville, and I do plan to go out there from the first day they open, which hopefully will be in the next few months. But I have a strong preference for 1/8 mile tracks, and I'll tell you why. I know that a lot of people might prefer quarter mile. You know, they've got their Mustangs, Camaros, Hellcats, and they know what a 11-second car is and what a 12-second car is. But the fact of the matter is the fastest cars race 1/8 mile. If you ever watch any of these shows like No Prep Kings, Street Outlaws, etc., it's all 1/8 mile racing. Some of those cars will do 200 miles an hour in the 1/8 mile. If you've got a car that can do 200 miles an hour in the 1/8 mile, you don't need a 1/4 mile. Your car's not going to be geared to go a 1/4 mile. All you need is an 1/8 mile to get the job done. And this car will do 120 miles an hour in the 1/8 mile. It'll do 150 miles an hour in the 1/4 mile. So you only get an additional 30 miles an hour for that doubling of the distance. So while I understand it, and I certainly am not putting anyone down when I say, you know, if my car needed a 1/4 mile to hit 100 miles an hour or 110 miles an hour, I'd probably prefer 1/4 mile too. But when you get into the faster cars, they can get their business done in 1/8 of a mile, then you don't need a 1/4 mile, and a 1/4 mile just adds, you know, frankly, less safety. So I'm content to go 120 miles an hour and on my 1/8 mile racing, and I don't need to go 150 miles an hour every time I go down the track. So 1/8 mile is my preference. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to race 1/4 mile. This is a 1/4 mile track. That's where I'm out here tonight. And I do plan, when my second Plaid arrives this week, to shop cages, parachutes, and do what it takes to safely run that car in the 1/4 mile, you know, according to the NHRA standards. You know, we could argue all day long whether this structure is strong enough. We've all heard the stories about the crushing machine breaking when they tested trying to crush a Tesla Model S. But regardless of that, those are the rules. Unless they change those rules, that's what I've got to work with. Meantime, I have a strong preference for 1/8 mile just from a safety perspective. When you're making 500 drag strip passes a year, you know, I've made over 1,000 in less than 2 years. I don't need to be going 150 every time. 120 is more than enough.